So it's convenient for her to turn the live stream on now. So I thought I would let you know in case anyone's making any casual comments.
I take your turn. I understand every word you say.
Okay, the time is 6:30 p.m. and I would like to welcome everyone. We will begin our meeting and welcome to members in the audience and especially welcome to our M&A Andre Fortin. Yay! Andre attending our meeting tonight for his own information, and we'll also be giving him an opportunity to speak a little bit later. So we're going to begin with the TNO agenda for May 18th. And could I have a resolution to open the meeting? Moved by Councillor Donnie Gagnon. All those in favor, opposed, and that carries. We will now take the attendance. We have joining us on Zoom tonight, I believe, Doug Russell from Rapide des Joachim.
Present.
Bless your heart, Doug. Thank you. As we know, Rapide des Joachim is an isolated part of the MRC Pontiac, and so the ability to join virtually continues for Doug Russell. So we're going to begin then with Corey Spence.
Present.
Thank you. Carl Mayer.
Present.
Brent Orr.
Present.
Alain Gagnon. Morris Beauregard.
Replacing him, Tim Farragon.
I'm sorry, correct. Tim Farragon tonight. Thank you. Donnie Gagnon.
Present.
Edward Wall. Christine Francoeur. Jean-Louis Corriveau. Terry Lafleur.
Present.
Sandra Armstrong is not here, but replaced by Gary Ladisseur. Exactly. Thank you. Lynn Cameron.
Present.
And Doug Russell has already said present. Bill McCleary.
Present.
Doris Ranger.
Present.
Colleen LaRiviere. Karen Kelly.
Present.
Odette Godin.
Present.
Bernard Watt.
Present.
Annie Vinecourt. Travis Ladisseur. Kim Lesage.
Present.
Virtual. Thank you. Natasha is not with us tonight. Julian Gagnon.
We'll be joining by Zoom later.
Oh, okay. Julian will be coming by Zoom later. Thank you. Colleen Jones.
Here.
Cindy Phillips.
Here.
Jason Durand.
Present.
Okay, thank you very much. Just to remind you, now the COVID-19 measures, happy to say that as of tonight, we don't need to have a mask on walking around, correct, Bernard? Okay. We are well distanced still as we're seated, and you know, there still is COVID-19 unfortunately popping up in the Pontiac, and we'll keep an eye on that and remain vigilant. And I know a lot of people still feel comfortable, especially in crowd situations, or if they have some sort of, you know, immune issue, to be able to just wear a mask. It certainly has cut down on flu and colds this winter. Would you like to discuss anything in the MRC building, Bernard?
Now.
You could now, and then you won't need to in our regular meeting.
No, but nothing. We are always pleased to receive people coming for service at the MRC. There's no need anymore to wear a mask, but for some reason, to protect their safety, they need their health, they need them, so they still are available. Don't be shy to come at the MRC. We will be pleased to, all our team will be pleased to serve.
Okay, thank you very much. Any questions about COVID-19? Okay, we'll go on to number 4, the use of language of your choice. Je rappelle l'importance pour les membres du conseil régional et les autres participants à la séance de s'exprimer librement dans la langue de leur choix. Une ressource sur place sera disponible pour assurer une traduction au besoin. I'd like to reiterate the importance for regional council members and other participants in the sitting to express themselves freely in the language of their choice. A resource on site will be available to ensure translation if necessary. And the statement by the warden, declaration of decorum. We are elected by the people of Pontiac to represent them to the best of our ability. They expect us to conduct our meetings in a professional and business-like manner. I will be listening very carefully to the debate and discussion in this meeting. If I hear any words of negativity or criticism of anyone else, I will stop the meeting and ask that person to apologize. Thank you. Nous sommes élus par les gens de Pontiac pour les représenter au mieux de nos capacités. Ils s'attendent à ce que nous menions nos réunions d'une manière professionnelle. J'écouterai très attentivement les débats et les discussions de cette réunion et si j'entends des paroles négatives ou des critiques à l'égard de quelqu'un d'autre, j'arrêterai la réunion et demanderai à cette personne de s'excuser. Je vous remercie. Go on to number 6, the reading and adoption of the TNO agenda. Could I have a resolution to approve it? Moved by Councillor Cameron. All those in favor, opposed, and that carries. Are there any declarations of conflict of interest on this agenda? Seeing none. Could I have a resolution to adopt the minutes of the last sitting of the TNO? Moved by Councillor Walsh. All those in favor, opposed, and that carries. For members of the public who are listening, I have to confess I have a little bit of a difficulty with two particular names in this council. And it all stemmed from last year when I kept confusing the mayor of Shawville and the mayor of Clarendon, which was very interesting because one was a man, one was a woman. But this year it's two men. And I keep wanting to call, I want to say Bill Walsh and Ed McCleary. But anyways, it's a little bit of an inside joke. I'm going to work hard to improve. So we've done that. And now I would like to take a moment, something very important and tragic. We learned just yesterday of the passing of a great person from the Pontiac. So I will read the following. Former Pontiac MP and Fort Clunge native Robert Bertrand passed away yesterday, May 17th, due to cancer. He represented the riding, which was then known as Pontiac-Gatineau-Labelle, for the federal Liberals from 1993 to 2004. Robert Bertrand was first elected to the House of Commons in 1993 as part of the party's landslide victory under Jean Chrétien. He won another two campaigns in 1997 and 2000, and also served as the parliamentary secretary for the Minister of National Defense from 1998 to 2000. He tried to run again in 2004, but lost the Liberal nomination to David Smith. A businessman in the insurance field, Bertrand also served as Grand Chief of the Native Alliance of Quebec and National Chief of the Congress of Aboriginal Peoples. And I know many people in this room knew and loved Robert Bertrand. And on behalf of all of us, I would like to convey to his family our deep sympathy and condolences, and they will be in our prayers. And I just would like to offer, Andre Fortin, would you like to say while you're here a word or two about Robert Bertrand?
Make it hard.
Sorry. I have a wireless.
There we go. All right, we're good. Yeah, obviously, a lot of people here knew Robert Bertrand, knew him well, and spent years working with him on files of mutual interest, whether it was when he was a member of parliament, whether just as a member of the general public and somebody who's always remained very interested in the affairs of the MRC. Robert was respected wherever he went because of one thing in particular, because he knew where he was from and he knew why he was in a certain place. He never forgot who he was. He never forgot where he came from. Never forgot because he was always here. Because he always lived here. He always stayed here. He always fought for the people of this region, and I think that's a big part of the heritage that he left to people who took his place afterwards, people who still are active in politics, whether it's in federal politics or any other field, or in any position of leadership as he was with the Alliance Autochtone. So I think he'll definitely leave a void in a lot of people's hearts and minds and feelings in the region. And I could tell just by looking at you now what a lot of people in the community feel. So it's very nice of you to take a moment and acknowledge his contribution, his efforts, tout ce qu'il a fait pour Fort Coulonge, pour le Pontiac, puis pour nous tous ici. Alors, Robert, je te salue bien bas. Voilà.
Merci beaucoup, Andre. And one thing I just wanted to add, I also had the opportunity to know him personally, and just 2 weeks ago waved at him in Fort Coulonge. And one thing that I loved about him was his smile, always a big smile, always so interested in everything that we're doing here at the MRC. And he still, I think, had a trap line. And I know that he brought a couple of partridges into our chef, not to serve in the restaurant, but just because he liked them and thought he might enjoy cooking them up. And, he was a true Pontiac person. He really was. And I know it's a terrible shock to his family because he didn't have a long time. I think he found out about his condition and then passed very quickly, which in some cases I think can also be easier. Is there anyone else who would like to say a word about him? Well, I think what we'd all like to do is observe a moment's silence. So just ask for a moment's silence and we'll begin now remembering Robert Bertrand. Okay, thank you very much. And as Andre had said, another thing that was very wonderful about Robert is that he had a great ability to reconcile and work with and advise our Indigenous people, and was always flying out west, flying all over the place. So I don't think he ever retired, that's for sure. Okay, we will now go to 9.1. And this is, we have a special presentation to make. This is in the TNO agenda. Okay, that's great. We have another wonderful person in the Pontiac, and his name is Monsieur Louis Hervé. And Louis Hervé is here tonight with his wife, France. And Louis is well known to us, but I asked him to come tonight because Louis has received a prestigious award in Quebec. In fact, out of all of the province of Quebec, only 40 people were chosen as volunteers this year, outstanding volunteers. And our Louis Hervé from Pontiac was one of them. So before we applaud and I bring Louis up, I'll just read now, je m'excuse, Louis, c'est un anglais. Whoops.
Want to read it in?
I should read it in French.
Okay.
Yes, definitely for Louis. I suppose the citation is the main most, okay. Monsieur Louis Hervé est reconnu dans sa communauté comme un bénévole infatigable, engagé, humain et juste. Il est vice-président, coordinateur et agent de communication dans différents conseils d'administration. Il motive ses troupes et fait bouger ses... Okay, that would be good. Thanks a lot, Bernard. C'est faire dans plusieurs domaines d'intervention. De plus, il travaille souvent dans sa municipalité et la MRC de Pontiac sur des dossiers touchant la culture, la nature, le plein air, l'environnement, le tourisme, les loisirs et les sports à l'échelle tant locale que régionale, provinciale et nationale. Il sait bien s'entourer constamment à la recherche de financement pour ses projets. Il ne cesse d'amener de nouvelles idées et il est bien préparé. Tout ce qu'il a créé et accompli depuis sa retraite fait déjà de lui un baptiseur. And so, Louis, what I would like to say to you is, I think we are very, nous sommes très fortunés à voir vous parce que you have given so much to the Pontiac. You continue to contribute in so many areas. I don't know where you get all of your energy. And you have told me that you have projects, you can never retire because you have projects and projects and projects. And one big one, which, you know, I don't want to steal the thunder when we do the events. Gary Laddister will probably be giving us a reminder, but we have a very special event and it's only happening because of you. And it is the illumination of the Felix Gabriel Marchand Bridge. So I would like you to come up right now so we can recognize you and say a few words.
No, Jane, I got this
Oh,
one.
you got the cordless? Okay, great. Je suis très fière. Okay, now, Louis, the floor is yours. Oh, you've got a written speech? Okay. Want me to hold the microphone for you?
Et je te fais le plaisir de le traduire en anglais. Je l'ai fait avec Google Traduction. Oui, c'est pour le plaisir. Si vous avez envie de rire, allez-y.
Utilisez les mics.
Okay.
And I forgot to remind, I just wanted to say, I forgot to remind everyone, just one moment, Louis, because we are on Facebook Live, the only way our audience can hear you, you need to speak in the microphone. So you have to speak right in the mic so everyone can hear you. That mic, even though it doesn't, yes, please.
Okay. Alors, merci à la MRC, à Jane, pour votre appréciation et cette marque de reconnaissance. Alors, voici la traduction. Thank you to the MRC for your appreciation and this mark of recognition. L'action bénévole, c'est ce qui forge une société dynamique. Voluntary action is was forged and dynamic society. Pensez à tous vos bénévoles. Et si vous identifiez quelqu'un qui mérite un tel hommage, déposez sa candidature à Hommage Québec Bénévolat. Une autre traduction. Think of how you're a volunteer, and if you identify someone who deserves such and tribute, apply to Hommage Québec Bénévolat. C'est très important. Do that. La reconnaissance, c'est le carburant de la personne bénévole et cela lui permet d'avancer et de soutenir les initiatives locales. Recognition is the fuel of the volunteer, and it's allow him to move forward and support local initiatives. Le pont en frais de bénévolat. Le pont Félix-Gabriel Marchand est un exemple d'effort collectif. On est d'accord avec ça. The bridge Félix-Gabriel Marchand, an example of collective effort. La plage du Pont Blanc, un autre exemple de travail collectif et de bénévolat. The White Bridge Beach, another example of collection work. Alors, c'est un message de les bénévoles sont extrêmement importants dans votre société et il faut en prendre soin, il faut les remercier, il faut les reconnaître. Puis ce soir, je vous remercie de cet honneur. Merci beaucoup. Merci. OK. J'invite tout le monde le 20 mai, vendredi soir, 8h30. C'est l'ouverture officielle de l'éclairage du pont Félix-Gabriel Marchand. At the 20 May, 8:30, we're opening official light on the Gabriel Marchand Bridge. So all of us, you're welcome. The mayor, come to see the white bridge, the red bridge. Welcome.
Perfect. Thank you very much. Okay. Are there any questions from the public on this agenda for TNO? Okay, seeing none. And there were none submitted electronically, correct? So thank you. So no e-questions either. We'll now go to accounts paid. Annie Vaillancourt, please.
Bonsoir tout le monde. Pour le TNO, pour ce mois-ci, il y a eu juste 2 factures de payer pour un total de 46 741,06. So 2 invoices paid for the TNO in the last month, $46,741.06. One was to the ministre des Finances for the police services, and the other one was shares to the MRC.
Okay, thank you very much. Are there any questions? Seeing none, could I have a resolution to approve? Moved by Councillor Orr. All those in favor? Opposed? And that carries. Thank you, Annie. Now, Annie, on item 13, radiation des comptes de taxes irrécouvrables, a resolution.
Oui, c'est pour radier des comptes de taxes qui ne pourront pas être collectés, so to write off taxes that we can't recover. The leases have been revoked as well and are returned to the ministry. There is 6 of them total, and the amount is $9,349.70 for the total.
Okay, any questions on that? Seeing none, could I have a motion to approve it? Moved by Councillor Kelly. All those in favor? Opposed? And that carries. Thank you, Annie. Now we go to our manager of territory, Jason Durant, and it's for number 14, Entente intermunicipale, municipalité de Mansfield-et-Pontefract, entretien du chemin de Jim. Go ahead, a resolution.
Oui, bonsoir tout le monde. Good evening, everybody. Donc, il s'agit bien d'une entente intermunicipale entre le TNO et la municipalité de Mansfield. Ça, c'est pour le nivelage du chemin du Jim, là, à partir du kilomètre 18 jusqu'au kilomètre 40 à peu près. Donc, as I was saying, this is an intermunicipal agreement between the municipality of Mansfield and the TNO for the grading of Jims Lake Road from kilometer 18 to kilometer 40 around. So this has been this agreement has been on for a couple of years now. So this is again suggested. Resolution, please, to go.
Any questions? Okay, seeing none, could I have a councillor move the resolution, please? Moved by Councillor Walsh. All those in favor, opposed, and that carries. And then Jason will go on to Plage du Lac du Mont, resolution.
Oui, donc c'est comme une double résolution. Une première, dans le fond, comme vous savez, au lac du Mont, il y a la grande plage. Là, de plus en plus, il y a beaucoup de gens. Malheureusement, il y a un manque de gestion. Donc, pour ça, le chemin est de façon officiellement fermé. Donc, nous autres, dans le but d'améliorer la gestion avec certains partenaires, on aimerait, dans le fond, demander aux autorités compétentes de réouvrir le chemin de façon officielle, qu'on puisse améliorer la gestion du site. So I was saying there is at the beach at the Lake Dumont, unfortunately, there's a lack of gestion there right now. So by the way, the road is officially closed. So with partnership with other groups to be able to enhance the management of the site, we would like to have a resolution and ask the government, in other words, the MFFP, to reopen the road in a legal way. And the other resolution is having money from the TNO budget for infrastructure and signage at the beach itself. Donc, la deuxième résolution, dans le fond, c'est d'avoir des fonds du TNO pour des infrastructures, exemple des toilettes sèches et aussi là, des affiches, le style là, de ne pas jeter les déchets et tout ça. Donc, c'est les deux résolutions demandées ce soir.
Okay, any questions?
How long do you think Jason wants to put that back in if it's approved for the road to be reopened?
It should be pretty quick. I already talked, like I said, with some people from the ministry. Like I say, if with all the, first of all, we need the support from all all the mayors. That's one thing. And after that, it's explaining the game plan. And for all those reasons, they should actually reopen the road quickly. That's what has been understood. So I have a good feeling. I have a good feeling on this one. So
Very good. Any other questions or comments? Seeing none, could I have a councillor move the resolution, please? Moved by Councillor Langagna. All those in favor? Opposed? And that carries.
Sorry, Madam Caller, Jane, Campbell's Bay will be against that motion.
Okay, voted, okay, against. Can you record that, please? Thank you very much, Tim. All right, thank you. And so the first resolution, you were against, right? So the second resolution, could I have someone move that, please? Moved by Councillor Lafleur. All those in favor? Opposed? Opposed again, Campbell's Bay. Tim Farrington on behalf of Morris Beauregard. Thank you very much. Okay, thank you, Jason.
All right, thank you.
Excellent. So then could I have a resolution to close the sitting? Moved by Councillor Francoeur. All those in favor? Opposed? And the TNO sitting is complete. So now we will open our public meeting of May the 18th. Could I have a resolution to open the meeting? Moved by Mayor Cameron. All those in favor? Opposed? And that is carried. Please remember to put your hands up. Thank you. Second point, just to remind you that this meeting is being recorded on Facebook Live. We welcome our audience. Very happy that you are able to follow our meetings, and this will be available on the MRC website sometime tomorrow. And we began doing this because of COVID-19, but it was unanimously supported by the Mayor's Council to continue doing this. The use of language of your choice. Je rappelle l'importance pour les membres du conseil régional et les autres participants à la séance de s'exprimer librement dans la langue de leur choix. Une ressource sur place sera disponible pour assurer une traduction au besoin. I'd like to reiterate the importance for regional council members and other participants in the sitting to express themselves freely in the language of their choice. A resource on site will be available to ensure translation if necessary. Next item is the declaration statement by the warden on decorum. Nous sommes élus par les gens Pontiac pour les représenter au mieux de nos capacités. Ils s'attendent à ce que nous menions nos réunions d'une manière professionnelle. J'écouterai très attentivement les débats et les discussions de cette réunion et si j'entends des paroles négatives ou des critiques à l'égard de quelqu'un d'autre, j'arrêterai la réunion et demanderai à cette personne de s'excuser. Je vous remercie. We are elected by the people of the Pontiac to represent them to the best of our ability. They expect us to conduct our meetings in a professional and businesslike manner. I will be listening very carefully to the debate and discussion in this meeting, and if I hear any words of negativity or criticism of anyone else, I will stop the meeting and ask that person to apologize. Thank you. We will now, I will ask the question, are there, no, pardon me. Number 5. We're going to read and adopt the agenda, and I'm going to add 2 items. The first item we will call 20.1, and it is concerning an in-camera HR issue that we have a resolution in public for. And 20.2 is a resolution requesting that the border be open for Ontario's waste to enter Quebec. It's a previous resolution moved in 2020, but with our new council, we think it's important that we send this to the government again. So we'll be voting on that. Are there any questions? Do I need a resolution to add those to the agenda? Yes, I do. Moved by Councillor Donnie Gagnon. All those in favor, opposed, and that carries. Thank you. Go on to number 6. Are there any declarations of conflict of interest on this agenda? Okay, seeing none. Could I have a resolution to adopt the minutes of the last sitting in April? Moved by Mayor Doris Ranger. All those in favor? Thank you. Opposed? And that carries. Presentations. We're going now. I have a question, Andre. Are you planning to be here for the entire meeting? Okay, thank you. If you don't mind, we have a special guest that was in our agenda. And so with great delight, I would like to introduce a young man who moved to the Pontiac last year, April or May, and he purchased a house in Chichester, and he came from Drummondville. And I met him one day. He has a particular interest, and it is skateboarding. And his name is Alex Boivin, and Alex single-handedly convinced the government of Quebec to recognize skateboarding as a federated sport. And he has been very active since he's been here. He knows how to build skateboard parks. He must be very good on a skateboard. I asked him if he came here tonight by skateboard, but the good news is he came by car, maybe another time when we work on the roads. But what you have for us tonight is a bit of a presentation, but I also wanted to add one other highlight, and that is that you've been involved with the Maison des Jeunes, and they're very interested in working with Alex. So the floor is yours, Alex. Welcome.
Thank you so much for having me tonight. I'm really honored to have the chance to speak here with you. English is not my first language, but I'll try to keep the presentation in English.
Well, you can speak in French, pas de problème.
Okay, so I might switch between both languages. I built a quick presentation, but it's not really that important. First of all, I'll introduce myself, then I'll talk about one point that I find really important to talk to you about. So first of all, I come from Princeville, near Drummondville, near Quebec City. It's a 6-hour drive from here. I moved in the Pontiac because I met my wife over there studying at the Cégep of Drummondville. I studied first as
Your wife is from the Pontiac?
Yes, exactly.
Yay!
So I'm a new person in the Pontiac and I plan to stay. I studied first as a carpenter, then I moved on to be a construction estimator. So I know both on construction site and the office job. But moving on the Pontiac, I noticed that there is opportunities to work in whatever you want because everything is to build. So I decided to focus on my passion and develop skateboarding. In November, I was accepted by the SADC for an autonomous worker program. And since then, I've been working full-time on creating skateboarding activities. Yeah, we can move on to the timeline. In November, I got accepted by the SADC, and in March, I got the Quebec Skateboarding Federation done and recognized by the government. that is with the help with a lot of people all around the province. I'm really honored to participate in that, and I'm gaining a lot of new experience from that. Since then, I also started my own business that is giving skateboarding lessons and gathering people around, creating events and social gatherings. And since I started that, I got the support from the Maison des Jeunes and the Carrefour Jeunesse Emploi recently that they want to support the project and make it like a bigger project for everyone to get into. And now for the point I would like to talk to you tonight is really the importance of the page got messed up, but that's really not that bad. The importance of building skate parks and pump tracks and places where young people can gather around and build their social skills and also have an escape out of their normal life. Just a lot of people have told me that their skate park is their second home, and I feel the same about where I come from and where I go now in Pembroke. There are just no parks around in the Pontiac. I feel like that would be a great activity to bring for everyone to enjoy, but also a reason for people to come back in the Pontiac after they leave, because you get attached to your city and you want to stay there with your gang. That is pretty much the only thing I wanted to talk to you guys tonight. I'll keep working hard on skateboarding projects, and I hope to collaborate with you guys. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. I have one question. I know there would be different prices depending how elaborate the skateboard park is, but approximately, if a municipality wanted to have a skateboard park, what would the range of price be?
My first idea, if we want to keep a very low budget, would be to build wooden ramps to install on your concrete outdoor ice rink.
Excellent.
They are currently not used. There are a bunch around the municipality. We can
And
do
what would that cost roughly?
Less than 10,000 per municipality that would do that. It would be real easy, and we can have partnership with the college in Pembroke too. They have a program where students build ramps every year.
And actually, right here in Campbell's Bay, it's connected to ESSA.
Yeah.
We have a big woodworking shop. I would think, Tim, it's a pretty elaborate woodworking shop.
Yeah, as far as I know, the high school's in there.
They might be able to even build the ramps there. I was just thinking rather than in Ontario.
This could be a good project.
Okay.
Also, other than that, we could build simple concrete ramps that would cost from 10,000 to 25,000.
Okay.
They would be maybe 20 feet by 20 feet or a bit more. This could be perfect for any neighborhood where people would gather up. And bigger than that, I would say, if you want a project done from A to Z, like keys and ends, for 5,000 square feet, it would be 150K.
Okay,
Pretty much.
excellent. Well, there is some sport loisier money available,
There's a
and
lot
I'm
of
sure the
grants for that.
municipalities will be looking into it. And it's so great to have an expert here.
Thank you so
And
much.
thank you so much and how do you like the Pontiac so
I
far?
really love it.
Excellent, that's great. Thank you so much. We're very proud of you. Thank you, Alex. And another person we're very proud of is Andre Fortin, our MNA. So Andre is with us tonight. I'm going to give Andre an opportunity to speak, and we'll bring the mic over to Andre and welcome. Actually, Andre was with me all day today with Bernard. He's, just so you know, Andre was in Gatineau at the Assise, the Assemblée with the CPO, launching a new sort of organization.
Oui, merci, merci de votre accueil. J'aimerais ça être un peu plus souvent avec vous, là, mais je prends l'opportunité parce que l'Assemblée ne siège pas cette semaine ça tombe bien, vous aviez une rencontre publique, donc ça me fait plaisir d'être là. Juste un petit mot en commençant. Ce qu'Alex a dit là, par rapport aux 4 à 80 ans, I don't know if you saw in his presentation, but it said skateboarding is for 4 to 80-year-olds. I took my 6-year-old last year. She took skateboarding classes in Hull at the Plateau there. There's a big skate park. And she really insisted that we go. But the point that was surprising to me is that every week when she went, there wasn't just 6-year-olds there. There was people in their 20s and their 30s, some people in their 40s, and everybody's helping everybody out. So it truly is. When he says it, c'est vrai que c'est un sport qui est intergénérationnel et qui aide, qui fait en sorte que différentes générations peuvent travailler ensemble. Alors c'est vrai que c'est pas juste pour des petits enfants, c'est pour bien du monde qui sont intéressés par ça puis qui pourraient le faire ensemble. Alors c'est le fun de voir qu'il y a un intérêt pour ça dans la région. Jane is right. I spent the day with her today at the Assise Régionale, which is kind of a new forum, really. I think it was the first meeting of the forum where the wardens, but also there was a couple of mayors from every region. They also had a number of groups from the region, whether it's the CISO, whether it's Loisirs Sport Outaouais, whether it was the Credo. So a bunch of regional groups that can work with mayors and can work with wardens to help out some of these development projects in the regions, projects that you have here, projects that are in other parts of the region as well. But it was nice to be able to have those conversations and to see what other parts of the regions are working on as well. It's definitely something that, and I know everybody here has a huge time commitment already to the job, a huge time crunch. A lot of you are working and doing this at the same time. But if you have an opportunity to attend some of these meetings as mayor with Jane, I think it's always beneficial to the region to have a number of different voices who can take part in these meetings. So if you have a chance, go to it. It's beneficial for the region for sure. Je voulais vous parler peut-être de quelques items là. I know there's some of you I've had the chance to talk to in the last few weeks. Some of you I haven't had a chance to talk to in a while, but maybe it's more of an opportunity today for me to listen to you guys and what you have to say and be able to take your feedback to government in Quebec City rather than me standing here telling you what Quebec City is doing. But there are a few things that I do want to mention, a few subjects that I do want to talk about. First is, and maybe I'll put these under a few different categories, things that are going well. You guys see it. High-speed internet is being deployed across the region. You see the trucks every day now. And it seems like it's exponentially going faster and faster than the number of trucks that are out there. That's a good thing. The last conversations that I had, and I'm not sure, Bernard, what you had, or Jane, what you had with the ExploreNet folks in the region here, the official deadline for them that came out this week or last week when they published the maps was September 30th. The last conversation I had with them, they were aiming more for probably most of the Pontiac project to be done in late July, early August. So hopefully they're still on track for that. And at that point, they'll open it up for citizens to be able to sign up and have the hookup done to their home. But their deadline
I just
is
had a
September.
quick question just on that. Do you remember the name of the M&A who they're calling Monsieur Internet? I have his picture, but do you remember what his name is?
Yeah, Gilles Bélanger, he's an M&A in the Eastern Townships.
Right,
And so they didn't give that project to a specific ministry. They kind of kept it in under the Premier's department, but they signed an M&A for the development. And he's the one who basically negotiated the deals with both the federal government and the service providers.
So when I was with Bernard in November at FQM, we met him and I went up to him because at that point I was being asked by everybody, is this really going to happen? So I went up to him and I said, can you assure me that we are going to have this by September? So he asked, where are you from? I said the Pontiac, and he actually said and made a promise, and then he put it on Facebook saying that the Pontiac would be one of the first to be completed because we have a vast and rugged territory. So I just wanted to remind you that, I'm not taking credit. I'm just actually saying it would seem he's true to his word, and I must send him a note just to say so far so good.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of people, and I'm sure you guys hear it in your communities, that are happy to see the work being done, but they're anxious to get the service mainly. And that are asking about the price. You guys probably have a ton of questions about what's the price going to be. There is no, as of right now, there is no set price for it. But the deal that the government did strike with the service providers, in this case ExploreNet, is that it would be competitive to their prices that they're offering everywhere else across the province. So because you're a new subscriber, because they had to do all this work to hook up part of the region that isn't served already by fiber, you shouldn't be paying more than anybody else. So that's the deal they have, but they don't have a set price in there. So if you hear differently, if you hear it's not the case when it does roll out, please do let me know. But that is what is in their contract with the government of Quebec at this point. Do you want to take questions subject by subject? How do you want to do this? No difference to me.
What I would like to do is maybe altogether give you from now to say 15 more minutes. And so if you keep your questions quick, I think subject by subject would be best. Did you have a question on this?
No, I just wanted to tell you that I spoke to ExploreNet and it's going to determine the amount of bandwidth you want. That's all.
Bandwidth,
Yeah.
okay.
That's what it's all about.
Yeah, and what they want to do is basically roll it out everywhere. So do all the roads until they hook up, before they hook up anybody, because this way it's just, A, it's fair to everyone, but B, it doesn't occupy their crews hooking up individual homes while they still have lines to put on the roads.
Corey, I think next.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Forte, for your hard work. I'd like to, so the Quebec government has recently released a map of who's getting what. The map, I took a look at the map on our island, Aliman Island, and there seems to be a lot of residents who are not included in that. And I don't know if the map is inaccurate. However, because of how many there are there, it doesn't seem appropriate for each and every one of them to contact the appropriate people. So can you offer a suggestion or how we can move forward on that?
Yeah, I saw your note. I took a look at the map myself. It mainly seems to be in your, unless you guys tell me otherwise, it mainly seems to be in your area. So I will, if you want, I'll take it upon myself to talk directly to the service provider there and see what's going on, because I know that from talking to some other people, you guys did provide us very specific list, and some of those roads were included and they don't seem to be in the final map. So if you'll allow me to do that, I'll be happy to be the point person to contact the service provider there.
Thank you very much.
Any other questions or comments on this? Doris?
One question that I'm being asked, and all of say what you mentioned, that they're hearing that people are getting hooked up. The one question I've been asked is, what will happen to the landline? Like we have older citizens, internet, cell phone, stuff like that. What will happen to the landline? Will that remain?
I don't think the two are related, as in your fiber doesn't affect your landline.
Because
No.
us being serviced by Bell, and that's how we're getting fiber, it's through Bell. So they were just wondering if that.
Because you're getting it through Bell, you might, and this is something that others might not be able to do, but you might be able to package it together and get a better deal on your phone line than some others.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're starting
Johnny?
to hook up in Chapel already.
Yep.
Good, wow.
So,
And you're
Yeah.
already hooked up in Thorn or Ladysmith?
No.
No.
Okay,
But what happens is Bell has it over there,
okay,
we have Exponent. Exponent's taking it on.
okay.
Yeah, the Upper Pontiac is a previous deal that was struck a while ago, you'll remember. So
Yes.
they did have the deployment that was done earlier. For the rest of it, they do, and this is, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think it's Chichester, Sheenborough, the island, and part of Waltham, maybe not the whole thing, but part of Waltham. And Explorenet got everything else, and that's the part that's rolling out now that you see the trucks for, is the Explorenet project, and that's the one where they're waiting for everyone to every road to be done before they open it up for citizens to be hooked up individually.
Terry LaFleur?
Do you have any information in regards to, this is a residential project, so municipalities, schools, hospitals are not eligible to apply to get hooked up to this, as far as I understand it at this point in time. So do we have any information as to when those services will be able to attach this fiber? We have fiber, it's not the end of the world here. So, picking up, but I'm guessing everybody's.
Yeah, I'll have to check. To be honest, I don't have the answer to that. But the hospital, you mentioned hospital has access to the high-speed internet right now.
Yeah.
Okay, let's go on to the next subject.
Okay, so that's the one that's really doing well, is that one. The one we still have to continue to advocate, to fight for, and I'll definitely need your help on this one. C'est l'enjeu des soins de santé. Okay, l'enjeu des soins de santé, là, and a lot of you have heard me talk, and I've heard you talk about obstetrics in the last 2 years since they've closed the service for 6 months, as they said. But here's the real issue right now. The obstetrics is on the general care unit. As many of you know, the general care unit currently has 17% of its staff. It's allocated, budgeted staff. They have 17% of them right now. So even if they wanted to open obstetrics, the whole service is staffed at 17%. So they cannot, as of today, open obstetrics under those conditions. The other way they can open obstetrics is to have 2 midwives there. If the 2 midwives are there, they can do the care after birth, but they only have one that they've convinced to come to the Pontiac as of yet. So there are a number of government programs. There's one government program that's been used in other regions to kind of speed up training of nurses when they sense that they can reopen a unit. But the problem is that 17%, even if they train nurses, by the second that unit would come in and train the nurses, and when they would leave, they still wouldn't have enough nurses to move forward. So unless recruitment really picks up over the next little while, and as you all know, that's tied to salary and working conditions and other things, it's unlikely in the very short term that is something you will see open. It is something that, and from my discussions, and Jane, I know you had a discussion with José Fillon today about it as well, who's the PDG of the, or CEO of the CISO. Whether it's through your insistence, whether it's through our insistence, whether it's through the community input that they have, they do maintain the line, and this is true from talking to their teams, that they do want it open, that they still are working towards it. So even though it's been a long period of time, it's not something that they've dropped. It's something that they are maintaining. They do want to open, and that's where I'll need your help as well, is in all your discussions with CISO, never let them forget about this. If you can, if you have an opportunity to talk to anybody there, mention it, bring it up, say that the community is mobilized, because it is. Say that it wants the service, that it's an elementary and essential service, and that the community will not drop the issue. If you make that same point over and over, I think we can keep the issue long enough to put enough pressure on government to actually find a way to pay nurses better and eventually reopen the service.
As you know, we had a committee in the previous term. We could start it again. I think the timing would be good, because José Fillon did promise us that after COVID, Andre, that this would be her #1 priority, and he's right. They haven't given up. When I asked her today, I did say one question. I said, and maybe you could give your insights on this. We know that the syndicate or the union, it was a big deal having to ask for the salary equal to Ontario. But it was an election promised by the CAC government. And, you know, we have until what, October is your election. So I just said to her, do you think that they may come through with that promise for the nurses' salaries? Because we know that's our biggest issue. And she said she hopes so. So any thoughts?
Yeah, ce qu'ils disent essentiellement, là, what they're essentially saying is, actually, not what they're saying. What happened is they didn't negotiate it in the last agreement with the nurses. It wasn't brought up. It wasn't discussed. It wasn't made a priority. Now they are saying that they are negotiating it, but they very much are at the infancy of that process. So the official line from government, if you ask them the question, if you ask the Minister of Health or the Treasury Board President in charge of negotiations, they will say, yes, it's part of our demands to the nurses union. Between you and me, I've never heard of any union saying no to an increase in the salary or working conditions of its members. So I don't know just how much they're pushing for it at this point, but that is what they're telling us when we ask the question, is that they have brought the issue. They want it as part of the global package that they negotiate with the nurses, but that they are having some pushback from the nurses union. That's the official line from government at this point, which is not a line that's appreciated by the nurses union, by the way.
Okay, thank you.
Troisième chose, je voulais vous mentionner, corrigez-moi si j'ai tort, là. Moi, je trouve qu'il y a des sujets dont on n'a pas, que moi, j'ai peut-être pas beaucoup parlé au cours des dernières années, mais qui commencent à être de plus en plus présents dans la communauté. So there's a number of subjects that are coming up that maybe weren't as present as they used to be or as they are now, but that will need a ton of attention on our part. Collectively on our part over the next little while. And the most obvious one, there's probably two, the most obvious one is housing. There hasn't been a meeting that I've been anywhere in the Pontiac recently that somebody hasn't talked about housing, whether it's housing for people who come to the region temporarily, nurses that are coming in from Montreal or from other parts of the province temporarily to help out with the situation, whether it's professionals who want to move to the region and just can't find decent housing, whether it's people who are already here and in need of affordable housing. It's not something that I would say 3 or 4 years ago, you heard that much about, even 2 years ago. Now you can't turn around on the street without bumping into somebody who wants to talk to you about housing. Donc, pour moi, là, c'est quelque chose qui devient une priorité. Je pense que ça nous prend des programmes qui sont de plus en plus adaptés aux petits milieux pour que les groupes communautaires puissent lancer des projets aussi sur l'habitation. Il n'y en a pas eu beaucoup au cours des dernières années, des projets lancés par la communauté, mais ça, c'est pas de votre faute. It's not your fault if there hasn't been a ton of projects that have been initiated by the community on housing or by community groups on housing. It's because the government program are not adapted for rural housing strategies. They really are made for investors in big city to build seniors homes, to build affordable housing, but they're not tailored for rural areas. So that's something that needs to change because the need has also changed recently here. So that's something that if you guys do, and I make this as a kind suggestion, but if you do pass resolutions on housing and on the need to adapt some of the programs to rural areas, I think it will be, let's say, well received by a lot of people in Quebec City. The other thing is cost of living. Cost of living wasn't that big of a deal a couple of years ago. Now, it probably cost me $30 to drive here today. It probably costs some of you $30 to drive here today. If you're doing your grocery bill, if you're paying your hydro bill, which is still cheap compared to Ontario, but it's more expensive than it used to be. All of those things are adding up quickly for a lot of families who simply don't have the money for it. And that's for all the people who aren't even considering buying a home. If you are looking to buy your first home these days, it's seeming more and more like a pipe dream. Like something that is just not going to happen. It feels like we're abandoning a whole generation of people who are looking for that first home and who just don't know how they're going to do it. And the reality is the prices are going high or going up so fast that even if you're saving your money today, by the time you save enough for the house you want today, it's going to cost more in a couple of months or in a couple of years. So c'est une spirale de laquelle il va falloir se sortir, il va falloir trouver des solutions. And you saw the announcement a couple of months ago, maybe from the premier, that he would cut a check for $500. He's talking about doing it again for a lesser amount. And that's temporarily, that's nice. But there needs to be more of a structural solution here because I don't think government will month after month and year after year be cutting checks to people. So it's a nice temporary solution for a lot of people. It helps pay, I don't know, $500. I don't know how far it takes you, but it's about a grocery bill and some at our house. But there needs to be more of a structural solution for people who are looking to buy a first home and for people who are just struggling to get by, people who are on fixed income, people who just don't have the resources to pay for all these additional bills. Those are two issues that we didn't spend a lot of time talking about in recent years, but really have crept up. Well, not just they crept up on us, but they are now a huge topic of discussion in our communities and something that government does need to address. The last thing I would say, and ce serait malaisant si j'en parlais pas ici aujourd'hui, là, parce que je sais qu'il y a beaucoup de vos communautés qui sont très, très, très inquiètes de ça. It probably wouldn't be appropriate if I didn't bring it up because I know a lot of people in your communities are very worried about Bill 96 right now. The update on Bill 96 is that when Parliament resumes next week, it is likely going to pass. It is likely going to pass because it has support from every party but ours in the Assembly. It's likely going to pass because it's been studied for the last year and some, and it's at the final stages of adoption. It's likely going to pass because there isn't any mechanism anymore to halt the progress of Bill 96 from a parliamentary standpoint. What it means for people, I think, has been discussed widely, especially in the last couple of weeks. But there is one last opportunity for government to make some changes to it. Whether they do it or not, they're publicly saying they won't. So what you hear in the news is likely what is going to be adopted. But they do have one last opportunity early next week to make some changes. If some of you are more optimistic than I am, that's very good on your part. But I think we do have to, and I will do this as well, but in the next couple of days, try to take more time to inform people as to the repercussions that Bill 96 is going to have on their lives, because it will affect a lot of the services. It will affect a lot of the institutions, especially English language institutions. I'm thinking of Heritage College here in Campbell's Bay, and not just for Anglophones. It'll have a lot of repercussions even for Francophones. It'll have a lot of repercussions just in the way that you deal with government. So I'll make an effort to make it even more widely known, the impact it'll have in the community. But if you have any questions, if your citizens have any questions, please don't hesitate to send them my way. They might not like the answers because they might not like Bill 96, but we'll make an effort to let them know what their rights are, what their rights still are after the bill, and what type of services they can expect to get once the bill is passed.
What impact did our petition have?
It sent a message. It sent a message that there are people who disagree with the way government is choosing to handle this file. It sent a message that there are people who are worried about their services. It probably helped some people in our caucus feel reassured that there are people out there who think like them, who want to keep those institutions, those services. Did it change government's mind? I don't know. Maybe they made some alterations afterwards because it came in the middle of the clause by clause debates. And these things always do have somewhat of an impact. But I think on the general, as a whole, government seemed very intent on an approach that was knowingly divisive, knowingly impactful, and not in a positive way to the services and institutions that a lot of people have here.
As you know, this morning, I made a point of saying that one reason the Pontiac has such a bright future is because we are very bilingual. What I didn't add is, and we have no control over this, but a lot of people are moving here who at this point probably only speak English. And we're encouraging everyone to become bilingual, but thank you for the work that you're doing on our behalf, Andre. And I personally think that this is a very short-sighted experiment on the part of the government, because what investors from other countries would want to choose Quebec if they're told that they have to work in French? But what I'd like to say is they'll be welcome in the Pontiac, and that was what I said today. I said everyone's welcome in the Pontiac, and especially immigration. We welcome everyone, and that's why we're going to prosper. Keep up your good work. You're doing a great job, and it's wonderful to see you. And it's we need to have you come, every few months and address us this way, and it's great.
Ben, merci de m'avoir prêté un peu de votre temps. Là. Je voyais que ça se déroulait quand même assez rondement, assez rapidement, donc ça m'a fait plaisir de pouvoir vous parler un peu. Merci de m'avoir alloué ce 15 minutes-là. Puis s'il y a quoi que ce soit, don't hesitate to reach out if your citizens have questions on it or on anything else. Let us know. I've taken the time personally to reach out to a lot of people who signed the petition, but also a lot of people who have shared some very serious concerns about it. So don't hesitate to point them our way. It's a tricky bill to explain to people. It has I think 240 different articles, so it's not necessarily easy to understand and grasp. And there's a lot of information out there that some of it is true, some of it is iffy, some of it is still up for debate because we're waiting for regulations and to see how it's all going to land. But don't hesitate to send people our way, and we'll try to steer them at least in the right direction to understand what the things they can still ask for, the rights they still have after the bill passes, which is obviously less than they had before. All right.
Oh, Ed, yes?
Mr. Forte, I just,
Can you guys stop calling me Mr. Forte? It kind of makes
Andre.
That's interrupted here. Just maybe a lack of understanding or whatever. But people have asked me, is like, because in the MRC Pontiac our percentage of Anglos is like 50 plus or whatever. Like, we're
59.
But we're not exempt. But I mean, I thought we weren't going to have everything completely in French when the changes took place or whatever.
Those are two, I'd say there's two different things in there. There's the impact on the services that municipalities can give. Okay. The only municipal services that can be impacted, and this is it's probably one of the most conciliatory things in the bill, okay, is if your municipality has nothing to do with the MRC, if your municipality is a grandfathered municipality in that it can offer services in English to the population, which is most of you around here, right? Because you were grandfathered means that in 1970, whatever, when Bill 101 passed, you had 50% of English-speaking population, right? So Clarendon, in your case, you had that, you still have that. If you still have over 50% population, you don't have to worry. You can still offer services in English to your townspeople, your constituents. If you're in a situation like the municipality of Pontiac, in 1977, they had 54, I'm making up a number, it was over 50%. They had 54% of their population that was English speaking. Today, they're at 46%. They dropped under that 50. They have to send a resolution from council every 3 years to say, we still want to be able to offer services in English to our community members. If they don't pass that resolution once, if they skip it, if the council decides, now we don't like it, all of us are francophone, we don't want to offer services, it's too expensive, whatever it is, they can't ever reapply for it. Okay, so they have to do it every 3 years from now on. That's the municipal services part. From a government service, doesn't matter if you're in a municipality that's 95% Anglophone or if you're in a municipality that's 5% Anglophone. If you call government and you're not what they call a historic Anglo, they are not allowed to serve you in English. So it doesn't matter if you're applying to go to school in English or if you're just calling Hydro-Quebec to say there's an outage in my region. What the bill says is they are not allowed to talk to you in English unless you're a historic Anglo and you have to prove that every time.
Andre, we have 3 municipalities where first language is French, the majority, Fort Collonges, Mansfield, and L'Île-du-Grand-Calumet. What will happen there?
Ça ne change pas pour eux. Pour ces 3 municipalités-là, là, Mansfield, Fort Collonges, L'Île-du-Grand-Calumet, qui étaient déjà des municipalités francophones, selon le gouvernement, qui n'ont pas eu le droit que des mêmes municipalités ici d'offrir un nombre de services en anglais à la population. Il n'y a rien qui change pour vous autres, c'est le statu quo. Donc, en théorie, là, vous n'avez pas le droit de donner certains services en anglais à la population. Ça ne veut pas dire que vous ne le faites pas, mais ça veut dire que en théorie, vous n'avez pas ce droit-là. Ça ne veut pas dire que vos agents, quelqu'un qui se présente à la porte et qui parle en anglais, que vous n'avez pas le droit de leur parler en anglais, mais il y a certains trucs que vous n'avez pas le droit de communiquer en anglais à la population, que ce soit des écrits ou autre chose. Vous avez les mêmes droits. Là, il n'y a rien dans le nouveau projet de loi qui change votre façon de faire, mais il va y avoir plus d'inspecteurs de l'OQLF, par exemple, qui vont se promener parce que le gouvernement s'est octroyé 100 millions de dollars à l'OQLF pour s'assurer que toutes les réglementations du nouveau projet de loi sont suivies. Donc, ça se peut qu'ils vous checkent plus.
Okay. Merci. OK. Merci beaucoup, André.
Ça fait plaisir.
Okay. And one other point, I think that we should, on our next plenary, add housing as an item, because as we know, every municipality has a subdivision plan. And in some cases, some municipalities are moving forward with them because of the number of people moving to the Pontiac and also the investors that are arriving. So I think it'd be a good thing to have a discussion on. We'll carry on with our warden's report. In the last month, I went to a Centride event to announce the close of the campaign. Vitalization Committee, many of you are on that. Organization Committee for the SCs Réunion that took place today. A CPO meeting, a Waste Management Committee meeting with the 18 municipalities. HR Committee, prep for the roundtable with Sophie Chattel. AGA Transcolin, Forestry Preparation Meeting. Economic Development Roundtable, many of you were there. It was at Pine Lodge with Sophie Chattel. Vitalization Committee, a meeting with Evelyn Gauthier, interview with Chip, met with Tim Farragon and Sabrina Ayers to talk about the Cletus Farragon Country Festival that will be taking place in July. Caitlin, an artist in Portage, had a meeting with her. The coordinator of the SQ, Mark Dulciu, and Julian Gagnon. Investment Committee, AGA Chute Collonges. Energy from Waste Committee, which is directors and Bernard in the MRC. Gilles Rouet. HR committee, a special plenary meeting that we had, met with Lynn Leverly. We had our forestry committee. Robert, a developer in Fort Collonge. Preparation of plenary meeting, plenary committee, CHIP interview, our Lac à l'Épaule at Otter Lake, RA last Saturday on energy from waste. Went to a fundraiser for CPAWS in Deep River to protect the Three Sisters, the Three Rivers. Went up to see Mayor Doug Russell at Rapide. HR committee, tourism Pontiac, Lake to Plate video kickoff, and finally today the Assis annual for the new organized group from CPO. Any questions? Okay, thank you. Oh, I also wanted to mention, very proud to report, I added them up. And Mayor Corey Spence, you deserve, what did you say? It was supposed to be $50 you were wagering? Well, trouble is you won, so I don't know where the $50 is coming from. Anyways, Corey Spence, Mayor Corey Spence, on behalf of Little Zalumet, you had 192 names, excellent, from Little Zalumet. So in total, this is one petition we're not handing to you, Andre, for a change. You've done your duties. This will go to Sophie Chattel. She's going to stand up in the House of Commons and present our cellular petition that has a grand total of 1,088 signatures. So good work, everybody. We'll recognize you in some other way, Corey. Okay, going on then to number 10, announcements. This is the opportunity for all the mayors to, and Colleen will walk around, our communications director, pass around the mic. Please, any events or upcoming information about your municipality. Go ahead. Corey Spence, Little Zalumet.
Yes, so this month we've been having EcoFest on the island, and I'm happy to say that lots of people have been participating, picking up stuff and making our island beautiful again each spring. And I'd like to recognize all those people who are doing that. Please keep up the good work. This upcoming weekend, we're having a market that the children are putting on to sell various wares. So if anybody wants to come by and have a look at that, that'd be great. And lastly, I'd like to declare this upcoming weekend the grand opening of garage sale season.
Great. Are you having one?
People in our municipality are.
Okay. Okay, Gary Ladisser, Pro Mayor of Mansfield.
Bonsoir, j'aimerais juste féliciter Louis. C'est un hommage qui est très bien mérité. Et puis, c'est à peu près l'événement qu'on va avoir vendredi. C'est l'ouverture officielle, l'éclairage du marchand. C'est à peu près ça. Merci.
Okay, and what about Friday night? You want to invite everyone?
Yeah, I would like to invite everybody Friday night around 8:30, 9 o'clock, like Louis said. I think it should be great. And take the opportunity also to thank, well, Jane, Andre, and everybody that worked hard to get that Red Bridge open. I think it's great for tourism, and I think it's pretty awesome, and it's beautiful. Thank you.
Thank you, Gary. Mayor Francoeur from Fort Collonge.
We have a busy few weeks, let me tell you. First of all, we're going to have Cinema Lynn that is reopening. A tentative date is sometime at the end of the month, but there will be a Facebook page that you will be able to follow, that you'll be able to see which movies are coming up and when it's going to be opening and all of that with the times and days. Next, we're going to have a country music festival that we have yearly in Fort Collonge. It's a joint effort with Mansfield. It's June 2nd to the 5th. People are coming in with their trailers and everything. Like we're expecting about 500 to 600 trailers to be coming in that weekend. Lots of music, country music for 4 or 5 days. It's going to be great, so please join us. Also, June 18th is Village en Fête in Fort Collonge. This year, we have something special. We're having helicopter rides. So if people are interested for helicopter rides, you can always call the municipality and we'll be able to hook you up with Claude to make an appointment so that you will have your chance for that. There's going to be activities all day. The front street is closed for this. So please come. There's going to be lots of fun for all ages. And I would personally like to invite Monsieur André to come to all 3 events, please.
I don't know about going up in the helicopter.
Oh, we have other stuff for him.
I guess it depends who the pilot is. Okay, thank you very much. We'll go on to Jean-Louis Corriveau, Mayor of L'Île-de-Grande-Calumet.
Le 4 de juin, où on a un poker run du groupe L. So the 4th of June, we have a poker run for the group L. And 25th of June, la Saint-Jean-Baptiste à RE. Le 25 juin, c'est la Saint-Jean-Baptiste. J'invite tout le monde à participer, à venir nous encourager. Merci beaucoup.
Merci. Mayor Lynn Cameron from Portage de Fort.
We're pretty quiet this month, but we are continuing with lots of volunteers, our renovation of the park.
Okay, wonderful. Thank you very much. Mayor from Elena Kaywood.
Nothing to report.
Okay. Mayor Godin from Waltham.
We have a few things going on. I just found out we have 4 or 5 original firemen who will celebrate 50 years on the fire department.
Oh my.
So we're going to have something special for them. And also we are naming our ball field in honor of Gary Marshall, who was the mayor, died while in office, and he was passionate, overly passionate about baseball. So we're going to name the ball field after him and have a ceremony. We're also having a ceremony to put in a new flagpole at Paul Ryan Park. I'm not sure about being mayor, come to think of it, but he also died in office. And that's going to be for our special flags. I'm going to quit talking now, I'm sad.
Thanks, Odie. Okay, we'll go to Mayor Karen Kelly from Thorn.
Nothing too drastic. We're having a new gazebo being built. So everybody wants to come up and they can have a good time with their kids. And it's got, everything you can want right there type thing. That's about.
Do you know when it's going to open?
Probably in about 2 weeks' time.
2 weeks' time?
Yeah.
Excellent. Thank you very much.
No problem.
Mayor McCleary from Shawville.
Well, McDowell School is having a fundraiser tomorrow night. They've just finished a very successful Facebook auction. It cost me quite a bit of money. So if anybody's interested, the Lions Club is there, I believe, serving hamburgers and hot dogs. Okay. Okay. And on June 4th, we're having a fishing derby that we haven't been able to do for 2 years. We never had a winter carnival, so we're going to have some other events in conjunction with that. We're going to have a small toucher truck. There'll be food available there. Anybody's interested in cleaning fish, they could come. And I don't think there's anything else.
Well, that's quite a bit. Thank you very much. We'll go on to Mayor Donnie Gagnon from Chichester.
Yeah, lots of interesting things going on, but nothing in Chichester this month, but I think I'll attend some of these other events.
Great.
Pass it on to Doris.
Mayor Doris Ranger Sheenborough.
We don't have a whole lot happening in May, but everybody is working hard since things are opening up and they're all happy. So everybody is gearing up for Canada Day on July 1st. By the way, Andre, you're invited. And the warden also.
Thank you.
And all the mayors. But we do have one thing that's opening on June 11th is Hotel Pontiac is reopening again with a new kitchen. So it's a portable kitchen. And I think it'll be quite interesting for people to come. It really made a big improvement with the large deck. And Sheenborough outdoor line dancers will be returning back there. Right now they're dancing at Harrington Hall. Yeah.
You're one of them, I hear.
Yep. We have a big
Excellent.
group. It's a great exercise and a lot of fun. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Mayor Brantor from Bristol.
Hello, everyone. Again, this year, the Bristol Farmers Market will be returning at McClellan Park in Norway Bay. And on Saturday, we're going to be christening our new rescue boat that the community fundraised for.
Okay, wonderful. Thank you very much. Mayor Ed Walsh from Clarendon.
Well, it's more related to with Lion stuff, but I'm heavily involved with that, so I'll plug that in for Clarendon. There's a lobster steak supper on Saturday, June 4th, so anybody's interested in that, bring a wife, girlfriend, or somebody out and have a great meal. They're going to have cocktails and yeah, whatever. They're going to have a cocktail hour, and then you can dine in or take out, and there's going to have to be some entertainment in the evening. Also in July or whatever, we're having our country jamboree again after this, a 3-year hiatus or whatever there. So that's from July 14th to the 17th. So we've got 19 country acts booked, and we have several local ones. So if you have the opportunity to come out and support the Lions and put money back into the Pontiac or whatever, you're supporting a great cause. Thank you.
Excellent. Thank you very much. Mayor Terry LaFleur from Otter Lake.
Hi, everyone. Just as a note, we have the hot boat wash station is open. I think I mentioned this before. However, monitoring of all the boat launches starts this weekend. So wash your boat or beware. Soccer's starting up. We have the cleanup weekend, June 4th and 5th. So basically free for taxpayers for all sorts of fun stuff. And then we have a motorcycle group coming to town, actually, the Knobs, I believe it is, not so old bastards, I guess I can say that. It's the weekend of June 11th. There's different shows, come out and see the bikes and all that fun stuff. They're staying at the RA for the weekend, so it's going to be lots of fun. And then after that, we're going to get ready for July 1st.
Perfect. Thank you very much. Mayor Colleen LaRiviere from Litchfield.
So Litchfield, the halt on the 148 is now open. So the play structure and all that stuff is available. And there's also a new gazebo that was just built at the end of last year, which we'll be putting in the new tables and chairs so people can come and enjoy that. And the splash pad is supposed to open, hopefully, according to the weather, the first week of June.
Okay, thank you very much. Pro Mayor Tim Farragon from Campbell's Bay.
Hello. Youth soccer is going to be starting this week. I think it's on Monday night, so that's not just in Campbell's Bay, that's across the county. It's good to have soccer back. They've been gone. We had a small ball season last year, but soccer was shut down completely, so they're back in action and starting Monday. Our adult 3-pitch fun league, which we've been operating for about 5 years now in Campbell's Bay, will also start up in May on the 29th. That league, we've got over 60 players again, all from Campbell's Bay and Litchfield. And the fundraising from that league, we've turned over $20,000 to the municipality in the last 4 years. So it's selling beer and chips and freezies turns out to be something good. Our splash pad actually opened last week, just in time for the heat wave, and it was packed throughout that crazy heat. So it's operating and everybody's welcome. The Maison des Jeunes this summer will be running a summer camp in Campbell's Bay for the first time in, I think, as long as I can remember. So in partnership with the municipality of Campbell's Bay and Litchfield, we'll be operating that summer youth camp. I believe they're going to be hosting, is it somewhere around 20 kids for the first year to see how it goes. It'll go well. I'm sure they're going to have a waiting list that's going to be packed, but we're very happy to have further implication from the Maison des Jeunes in Campbell's Bay. And speaking of the Maison des Jeunes in Campbell's Bay, they will be offering a skateboarding workshop over 3 nights. I would assume Alex is going to be involved in that. May 19th, May 26th, and June 2nd in Campbell's Bay. And there's dates in other municipalities as well, but you can check out the Maison des Jeunes Facebook page for more details on that. There's not going to be a festival in Campbell's Bay this year again, unfortunately. The vaccination clinic is extended till the end of the calendar year. But that doesn't mean we're not going to have an event. So we're going, like the warden was mentioning, we will be moving forward with the event that my father, Cletus Farragon, had been organizing for the last couple of years, and some of you mayors have heard lots about whenever he was coming after you for the last few years. So in his honor, we move forward with that event, and that will be on July 22nd and 23rd at the Mural Park in Campbell's Bay, rain or shine. We'll have a big tent and everything else that's needed to run that event. And the musicians that had committed to him and the people that had been offering to help him have jumped back on board. And lots of them are very much helping me get caught up with the event, and thanks to Warden Toller as well, and other people who had been involved in helping Dad. They're jumped right back into this, so we're in good shape to move forward. So, and thanks again, well, not again, but just take this chance to thank you guys all for the recognition at last month's meeting after Dad's passing. Much appreciated. Thank you.
It was our honor to do it. We miss him very much. Go ahead, Mayor Gagnon, Alain Gagnon
Oui,
from Bryson.
bonsoir. Le centre récréatif organise un tournoi de golf le 28 mai. So if you want to play golf, get in touch with the RA and you can book a foursome. That's it. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. And I think that concludes our municipal events. Thank you. Oh, Doug Russell, have you got anything you'd like to say? I see you waving on Zoom. Go ahead.
July 9th, Antique Car Show.
July 9th, Antique Car Show. Is this the downtown committee?
Yes, it is.
Downtown?
Yes, it is.
Okay, thank you so much. And Doug, will you and your wife be operating your chip truck up there?
It's open.
It's open. Okay. Thank you very much. Thank you, Doug. Okay, now we go to public question period. Are there any members of the audience who would like to ask a question publicly? Okay, wonderful. You could just state your name and where you're from. That would be
Good
great.
evening. My name's Amy Taylor. I'm from Chichester. I just have a couple of questions, please. Public participation is a tool in which to increase the credibility of the process, the legitimacy of decisions, in addition to learning residents' concerns and values, to strengthen community cohesion and the democratic process. With closed plenary meetings and unanswered emails or questions that are not brought up at meetings, how does the council propose to best represent the residents of the region?
Can I ask you a question, Amy? You also had submitted 2 electronic questions. Do you want us to deal with those as well?
Sure.
This is a new question you're asking. Okay, do you want me to answer this then on behalf? All right, I will. So to begin with, we have given some thought to making our plenary meetings open to the public, still being sort of discussed. And I think that Facebook Live has gone a long way to, at least for those interested, they can tune in and watch our public meetings. And we really hope that the members of the public will come out to this meeting. You can see how many chairs we've got. You know, I think that we need to perhaps through our Facebook I do a warden's message, but we really need to, I think, as 18 municipalities too, encourage the public to come. And one thing I have been trying to do is recognize people like we did Alex tonight, Louis. There was also another lady who couldn't come tonight from Chapeau, who's been developing affordable housing in Little Zalumet by buying homes, creating apartments, but keeping them $400 and $500 a month for people who can't afford. So what we are trying to do is create more interest in our meetings. I think for a long time, the meetings were held at the LC Gibbons. Now, at least we're out in the communities because we haven't been able to use LC Gibbons. And on that note, as of August, we'll be back in LC Gibbons. In July, we don't have a meeting, but it is kind of a limited space. There have been times where we've had some exciting meetings where people have come in upset about things and they've come in and we've packed the place. But, you know, I really support your line of questioning. And I think that we can always be more transparent more open, and one step at a time, we're trying to do that. And so we'll refer to your questions when we come to the e-questions, and it's nice to see you in person. So if that concludes our public questions. And so now we have e-questions, and we have quite a few. So we have two questions from Amy Taylor. The first one is, under what municipal code or bylaw grants the authority of the warden to answer in replace of the mayors when a question is asked specifically to the mayors? So I think in the past when I've done this, it had been decided amongst us that I would handle that question. But tonight we do have some specific questions to various mayors from Pat Guyette. And because you haven't had a chance to see them, I'm not going to put you on the spot tonight. I will read out what the question is, and I would recommend that you write an email to Pat Guyette and answer the question. But apparently there is no bylaw saying that I can't speak on your behalf if that's what we've decided, or if I happen to know the answer. And that is just because as the warden, elected warden, I chair the meeting. Is that correct, Bernard? Did you want to add anything to that?
Yeah, the municipal code, what it says, you are the warden, you are the chair, you're the president of this council. But more than this, the municipal code is tells quite a few on that. It's a question of good conduct, of good practice. Maybe the best reference, the best guideline for that is Code Morin. And you are, as the warden, you are the chair, you receive the question, you give the right to talk, and you are in charge of the decorum. So you put everything you think is good to put in that, and that's it.
Okay, so thank you very much for that. But what I do think is I don't want to be answering for any of you, and you all know your municipalities best. So most of the questions we received are directed at issues in your municipalities. So I think a good practice would be to maybe advance the deadline, if possible, for 5 to 6 days, maybe before a meeting. And then I will immediately, or Travis will immediately send it to each of you. And then you could be prepared to come and answer the question. I mean, unless it's a confidential matter and you can't, but you'll know. Question 2 from Amy Taylor is, are there municipal codes and or bylaws to ensure that residents' questions and concerns are addressed by members of council? What is the amount of time one should expect a response from council members in their respective offices? And what actions are taken to confirm these measures and timelines are followed up by members and their office, if any? So we're just adopting a new practice now, what I've just outlined, that I will send questions to mayors and give them the opportunity to answer publicly at our meeting. So you'll get fairly quick follow-up. And if more time is needed because the information is not readily available, well, we'll just leave it up to each of the mayors to follow up when they can. Okay, so thank you very much for those, Amy. It's nice to see you in person again. And we have apparently a time limit of 5 minutes per person if they come publicly. So the one concern with e-questions where someone's asked Mr. Guyette tonight is it 10 questions? Is, you know, if I were to go through all of these and answer them all, and keep other people waiting. So I'm going to encourage Pat Guyette to come publicly to our meetings and ask questions. Corey Spence?
Yes, I just wanted to mention to your point, Mrs. Toller, that anything that is municipal related, you're welcome to come to the municipal public meetings, and the municipal items can be addressed there, not necessarily at the MRC meetings.
I think that's an important point. And it's not because we're not trying to have anything open here. It's just that you're right. If it is a municipal issue for one of your municipalities, you all are open to the public and the public can come and ask the question right there. So that would be the better route to go. Thank you very much, Mayor Spence. Okay, so here I'm going to read Mr. Guyette's questions. So the first one is That the form to submit questions is still limiting the population to a maximum of one question. Since I've made you aware of the situation a few months ago and you indicated that you would correct the situation, I would appreciate the form be corrected so people are not limited to the numbers of questions. Thank you. I did speak to Bernard, Travis, and Colleen about it at that time. And I mean, today we've got 10 questions, so he's not being limited to one. Question 2, Warden Toller. The municipality of Fort Collonge voted against the feasibility study for a bridge between Calumet Island and Fort Collonge. Is the feasibility study still going forward and who is paying for it? So the cost of this study, which involves not the MRC, but just 3 municipalities, which is Calumet Island, Fort Collonge, and Mansfield. Mansfield supported it, and so they've already given a check of $1,200 to Kim Lesage made out to the MRC Pontiac. In the case of L'Île de Grand, Calumet, and Fort Collonge, the councils, it was a close vote, but they voted against paying for the study. However, the 2 mayors are in favor. So what we are doing is there were 8 or 9 businesses in Mansfield, Fort Collonge area who feel that because L'Île de Grand, Calumet has no businesses, they just have, well, they have one convenience store. And for many reasons, safety and security, the fact that these are the 3 French municipalities that was like a missing connection. Anyways, there's no guarantee this is going to move forward, but they do want to see the study take place. And so 8 or 9 businesses have each given checks of $100 made out to the MRC Pontiac. So the feasibility study will take place and should take 2 or 3 weeks. There is an outside engineer of bridges who's going to do it. And municipalities have the right to build roads and bridges. So when that comes back, there will be a meeting held of the investors and the municipality of Mansfield, as well as the mayors of Calumet and Fort Collonge for information. Okay, that's that answer. Question 3, Warden Toller, the investment committee recommended that the regional council of the MRC Pontiac approve a grant of $8,000. Who is the recipient, for what purpose, and from what program was it taken from? Now, I hadn't advised Cindy Phillips in advance. This was from 2021, December the 4th. Did you know about this at all, Cindy? This question?
Can you please repeat the
Okay,
question?
yeah, if you don't have the answer right now, I think we could advise by email because I don't want to put you on the spot. It's from 2021, December 4th. And it was $8,000. It was a grant. So I guess we've announced it in public. So I'll just keep going. We will respond by email to Mr. Guyette.
I don't understand the question, Jane.
It's okay. I think we will send a message by email if we could, Cindy, because I'm just reading them out. Question 4 is to Mayor LaRiviere, which we will not answer tonight, but it is our Peter Pisakis and Antonio Felice, the owners of Javelco. Any update would be appreciated on any development. Well, that's to Mayor LaRiviere, so you can follow up with that, Mayor LaRiviere. Question 5 is to Mayor Beauregard, and so is question 8. And this one is to do with PPJ and one is to do with the Multi-Resource Advisory Committee. Mayor Beauregard is not here tonight, so we will follow up with him. Mayor Sandra Armstrong is also not here tonight. It's concerning the amount of money that was recuperated from the Davidson Mill for unpaid tax. And I think it's common knowledge that the taxes were paid. And so the question is, you could probably answer this, Mayor Ladisser. What is the Council of Mansfield's plan to use how will you use this sum of money? I think it was just replenishing what was missing, was it not? So it will just be used for your general expenses. Okay, thank you very much. So then question 9 was there's one for Mayor Gagnon, and it doesn't say which one. It says that basically data indicates that only 65% of citizens aged 25 to 65 work in the regional county of the MRC Pontiac, placing our MRC at the bottom of the MRC in the provincial rating. Excluding government, anyways, are there any jobs in the private sector in your municipality? So I'll have to clarify which Mayor Gagnon is, and I'll let either Mayor Alain or Donnie know. And question 10 is also to a Mayor Gagnon. and I think this one would be Chichester, representing the western part of our county. Where do the citizens of your municipality work? I don't know of any industries. I understand there are jobs in government. It's a personal survey. So anyways, I'll give you more information on this, Mayor Donnie Gagnon. So thank you so much. Pat is a very active citizen and very interested in many things. And so we will make sure that he receives answers to those questions. Oh, I feel like there was one more. Yeah, I missed one for me, sorry. Reading your message from the warden concerning our sawmill, you say, we have an opportunity to open a mill this year. Now I understand political speech and statement. Would you have actual facts to validate your statement? So what I can say at this point is that we have plans for the Davidson mill, for Rapide, and also for Javelco. And we've heard some encouraging words about Rapide. And we also have a potential offer on Javelco, but that's all I can say. And, you know, until there's a time to announce, we really can't take this as concrete. But compared to 5 years ago, where we had no chance of anything opening, I think it's very encouraging. So my point was this. If we have a chance to open a sawmill, the investors are asking who will work there. And so we need to, in the Pontiac, remember that we used to have a reputation for being the best workers in Quebec. And it's hopeful that people from the Pontiac will come forward when and if there's a chance to work in a mill rather than needing to count on outside people coming here. Okay, that concludes the end of our meeting, our question period. We go on to the coronavirus.
Sorry, you didn't quite answer the question about the timeline for offices to respond to questions.
Oh, okay, Amy, I just have to remind you that you've already spoken, so you don't have a chance to ask a question again, but I did answer that question. And what I said to you was that every mayor that is going to be responding from now on will hopefully have the question with enough time to prepare an answer at the public session. And then if it's a question specifically like I've just outlined, every mayor will, I'll follow up with them and make sure that they answer Pat Guyette.
But it's not in regards to public meetings, it's just in general when a
Oh.
citizen emails an office,
Mhm.
the time length that they should receive an answer.
I don't think there is, you know, a rule. I mean, we would always hope that the answer could be as soon as possible. And if you're feeling that you're not getting answers from questions, then you need to take that up individually with your municipality. Okay, perfect. You have? Okay, perfect. And if you live in Mayor Spence's municipality, he's already invited you to come to his meetings. That's a good way to get questions answered. Okay, thank you. And you're welcome to stay for the rest of the meeting. So coronavirus update, we've done. Administration. 14.1, recommendations, COVID-19 financial aid, a resolution, Annie Vaillancourt.
Yes, so we have three recommendations this month. The first one was a request from the council to buy some headsets or earbuds to attend online meetings for all the mayors. So that's the first recommendation. We've put in $700 for that. The second one was to pay the electrician work that was done in when we renovated or modified a bathroom into like a laundry and maintenance concierge room at the MRC. And they had to come and install the washer dryer and do some other electrician work. So that is $1,141.22. And lastly is the for the computers that we purchased for our inspectors, the tablets. We need the dock stations for them that has the keyboard because they weren't included with them. And so we need 3 of those. And that's a total of $2,771.67.
Okay, very good. Any questions of Annie's report? Okay, seeing none, could I have a resolution to move it? Moved by Mayor Walsh. All those in favor? Opposed? Then that's carried. 14.2, A notice of motion, Bernard Waugh, concerning the notice of motion draft bylaw, code of ethics, MRC employees.
Oui, tel que mentionné, donc ce point concerne le dépôt d'un projet du code d'éthique des employés qui sera révisé pour adoption future et pour lequel on demande ce soir là, une motion. So we are tabling tonight the draft code of ethics for the employees of the MRC Pontiac. And we ask one of you to give the notice of motion, and this bylaw will be adopted in a future meeting. Council.
Could I have someone take carriage of it? Mayor Donnie Gagnon. Perfect, thank you. Thanks, Bernard. 14.3, a résolution adoption règlement 280-2022, frais de déplacement.
Le règlement 280-2022 a été déposé comme projet de règlement le mois dernier. Ce soir, on va l'adopter. So we already tabled last month this bylaw, a draft of this bylaw named 280-2022, repealing the bylaw 261-2019, providing for the travel expenses of council member and employees of the MRC. So tonight we ask for someone to adopt this bylaw.
Okay, thank you. Could someone move the resolution? Thank you. Moved by Mayor Doris Ranger. All those in favor? Opposed? And that carries. 14.4, the Pontiac MRC environmental and municipal tax issues, support for the mayor of Nicolet. Bernard.
Il y a la municipalité de Nicolet, également la MRC de l'Érable qui a déposé une telle résolution et fait suivre, une telle résolution adoptée et fait suivre. Les municipalités sont très dépendantes d'une source principale de revenus qui est la taxation sur les immeubles. Et c'est une dépendance qui est un frein au développement, surtout de nos jours 2020 et en 2022. Pour le développement des communautés, pour plus de services. So municipalities are very dependent on one main source of revenue, taxes on property. This impacts their capacity for innovation and their capability to develop. So this resolution is a resolution of support of the MRC de l'Érable and a few more municipalities that adopt the same municipality, which resolution is requesting government to start immediately a real work on an in-depth revision of municipal taxation in order to allow municipalities to meet their obligation under a stable, predictable, and a sustainable condition.
Okay. Could I have someone move this resolution? Moved by Mayor Corey Spence. All those in favor? Opposed? And that carries. 14.5, sale for taxes, portage de fort.
This first resolution, cette première résolution concerne l'autorisation d'aller signer les contrats de vente pour 12 propriétés de portage fort qui ont été cédées dans un contexte, dans un processus de vente pour taxe. It's a resolution for tax sales that will allow the DG or the warden to sign the deeds, and it's related to 12 properties in portage fort. I will just mention the ID of those properties. The first one, 335071 second one, 335081 808, 3350-641, 3350-647, 3350-817, 3350-818, 3350-819, 3350-821, 3350-822, 3350-824, 3350-827, 3350-830.
Okay, one resolution for all of that. Moved by Mayor Brent Orr. All those in favor? Opposed? And that carries. 14.6. Is that been covered yet? No. All right. Also in portage de fort.
Encore une fois, une résolution autorisant la signature de contrats dans le contexte de vente pour taxe relativement à 3 immeubles à portage du fort. So a resolution for tax sales of properties, again in portage du fort, related to 3 properties. I would mention the number, the ID So 3350-831, 3350-714, and 3350-832. Resolution.
Okay, thank you. Moved by Mayor Francoeur. All those in favor? Opposed, and that carries. 14.7, sale for taxes in Rapide des Joachim.
Yeah, well, again, for another property in, again, in a process of tax sales to authorize the DG and or the warden to sign the deed. So it's related to the property, which ID is 6216529. This is in Rapide des Joachim.
Okay, could I have someone move? Mayor Godin from Waltham. All those in favor? Opposed, and that carries. 14.8, sale for taxes in L'Île aux Allumettes.
Yeah, and this ID, this property has the ID 4786007 in L'Île aux Allumettes. Again, to allow us to sign.
Thank you very much, Bernard. Moved by Mayor Alain Gagnon. All those in favor? Opposed, and that carries. 14.9, sale for taxes in Bryson.
Yeah, the last one. So it's related to properties in Bryson, which number is 3544843.
Okay, moved by Mayor Lynn Cameron. All those in favor? Opposed, and that carries. 14.10, renewal Commissioner of Oaths.
Cette résolution est pour autoriser M. Travis Ladouceur à continuer à offrir ses services de commissaire à la sermentation au bureau de la MRC au bénéfice des citoyens de la région. So this resolution is to authorize Mr. Travis Ladouceur to continue to offer his service as Commissioner of Oaths at the MRC office for the benefits of citizens of the MRC concierge.
Okay, moved by Mayor Karen Kelly. All those in favor? Opposed, and that carried. Thank you. Thank you, Bernard. Go on to finances, resolution, Annie Vaillancourt.
Okay, so for this month for the MRC, the accounts receivables, the comptes à recevoir are standing at $1,676,901.31. These are all the accounts to be received, including all the loans. Then we have a list of accounts payables. It totals $190,204.48. And there was a shorter list of bills that were paid in the last month for $152,740.81. Some of them were funds approved through the COVID fund or donations and sponsorships, and then regular bills like phone and hydro. There was also a grant that came through from the MTQ for Transport Action, so that was just retransferred over to them. And then we have travel expenses for council for the last month meetings for $948.06.
Okay, thank you very much. Any questions on that report? Okay, seeing none, could I have a carriage of that resolution? Thank you very much. Mayor McCleary from Shawville. All those in favor? Opposed, and that carries. Thank you, Annie. Economic Development, Cindy Phillips. 16.1 FRR volet 4 soutien à la vitalisation et la coopération intermunicipale axe vitalisation 16.1.1.
Oui, bonsoir. Concernant volet 4 du Fonds Région et Ruralité, soutien à la vitalisation et à la coopération intermunicipale intervenu entre le ministère des Affaires municipales et de l'Habitation et la MRC. So through component 4 of the Regions and Morality Fund, support for the vitalization and intermunicipal cooperation between the Ministry of Municipal Affairs and Housing and the MRC Pontiac, we have an envelope of $4.9 million to pass a vitalization framework for our territory. This framework has 4 objectives: to encourage the mobilization of elected officials and municipal governments to address specific vitalization challenges, to foster collaboration between government departments and agencies in the regions, MRCs, and local municipalities with these challenges, to to support the implementation of vitalization approaches and initiatives on the territory concerned, and to improve services or facilities for the population through the realization of development projects, especially in the economic, social, tourist, or cultural fields. This funding is based on the Economic Vitality Index of the MRC as well as its 18 municipalities. The Economic Vitality Index is based on 3 key indicators. The first is the rate of workers aged 25 to 64. The second is the median total income for those 18 years and older. And the third is the average annual population growth rate. Based on these 3 indicators, the MRC Pontiac falls in the 5th quintile, as does the MRC Vallée de la Gatineau. In order for us to define our vitalization framework, we relied on many tools, including the economic portraits prepared by the Outaouais Development Observatory, our many in-house studies and reports and action plans, public consultations, which were held over the course of the last 2 years, as well as the work of the Vitalization Committee, which is composed of the mayors of all municipalities in the 5th quintile, the warden, citizen representation, socioeconomic representation, as well as ministry representatives and administrative staff from the MRC Pontiac. The resulting framework identifies 3 priority axes of vitalization. The first, population retention and attraction of new residents. The second, a cohesive renaissance of the territory. And the third, transportation development. So over the course of the coming months, with the guidance of the vitalization agent, the committee will further define specific projects and programs to address these 3 priority axes and the objectives that fall within those. So this framework, once adopted tonight, will be made public on the MRC Pontiac website. So you have a resolution before you tonight to adopt the vitalization framework under Stream 4 of the Regions and Rurality Fund, as it was presented at the plenary session to the Council of Mayors.
We're going to vote on this, and then I would like to give Cindy Phillips a standing ovation, because those of us who were on the Vitalization Committee, and Maurice Beauregard, who is not with us tonight, said to me, and he's absolutely right, that although we gave our input, Cindy Phillips led the way and really was the architect of the whole thing. And it's a considerable amount of money that we're receiving through the provincial government, almost $5 million to be spent by 2025. And Cindy, you just deserve so much praise for this. So who would like to move this resolution? Okay, everybody wants to. It's being moved by Mayor Terry Lafleur. All those in favor? Opposed? I declare that unanimous, and let's give a standing ovation. Okay, I know you still got more to say. That took you by surprise, but this is unfortunately, our last meeting with you present. However, on May 27th, we have the opportunity between 5 and 7 at Hoffman's Brewery to give Cindy a great send-off. So, are you ready to go on to your next item? 16.2. The members of the Analysis Committee, FRRV2, support to local and regional development competence resolution.
Oui, c'est par rapport aux membres du comité d'analyse à travers volet 2, soutien à la compétence de développement local et régional. So it's concerning a replacement of a member of the Analysis Committee for Stream 2 of the Regions and Rurality Fund, support to local and regional development competencies. This resolution tonight is to replace former Mayor Debbie Laporte with Mayor Christine Franco. And so you have a resolution before you tonight, which appoints the following people to the FRR Analysis Committee. Christine Franco, elected Mayor for Coulanges, Mayor Doris Ranger is the Mayor of Chimboro, Karim Elkouch, Director of Carrefour Jeunesse Emploi, Guylaine Marcel, who is our citizen representative, and Stéphane Labine, representative of a regional organization. The resolution is before you.
Thank you. Would someone thank you very much, Pro Mayor Gary Ladisser. All those in favor? Opposed, and that carries. 16.3, Vision 2030 Review Committee Resolution.
Oui, c'est pour adopter un comité de suivi de la Vision 2030. It's to adopt a review committee for the Vision 2030 Strategic Development Plan. This strategic development plan was adopted in June of last year. And as I've said all along, this really is intended to be a living document that can change, along the way, as we are well aware over what we've experienced in the last 2 years. Things can change just like that. So it's important to review this document on an annual basis. And it's important for you as elected officials to play a role in that. So you have a resolution before you tonight to adopt this committee with the following composition. 1 representative of the Economic Development Department, 4 representatives from the Regional Council of Mayors, and the names put forward are Mayor Sandra Armstrong from Mansfield, Mayor Christine Francois from Fort-Quilonge, Mayor Ed Walsh from Clarendon, and Mayor Corey Spence from Alaman Island, as well as the Director General and the Warden of the MRC Pontiac.
And I'd also like to say that in the public consultation, members of the public asked that we review this and report back every year, because with the former Vision 2020, they weren't really sure how much we'd accomplished. So I think this is a great exercise. Thank you. Who would like to take carriage of this? Maybe someone who's not on the committee. Moved by Pro Mayor Tim Farragon. All those in favor? Opposed, and that carries. 16.4, adoption of the Agricultural Immigration Action Plan Resolution.
Oui, c'est pour l'adoption du plan d'action en immigration agricole, the adoption of the Agricultural Immigration Action Plan. This action plan is to identify a welcoming community in each of the 4 MRCs in the Outaouais, and it was a regional project that was funded by the Ministry of Immigration, Francization, and Integration. And so the municipality, we actually had a dual choice for Pontiac, and those were Clarendon and Shawville. And so the council mayors have been presented in depth a comprehensive 3-year action plan, which is to be adopted tonight. And the goals and objectives of those plans are really to put in place the tools and the resources and the people necessary to make Clarendon and Shawville a welcoming community to immigrants with a specific focus on the agricultural sector. And as I mentioned, this plan not only touches the MRC Pontiac, but our 3 partner MRC organizations as well. So you have a resolution before you tonight to adopt the action plan for agricultural immigration.
Okay, thank you. Would someone take carriage? Mayor Francoeur. All those in favor? Opposed, and that carries. 16.5, recommendations, festivals and events fund resolution.
C'est les recommandations pour le fonds des festivals et événements. You have recommendations tonight in the context of the Festival and Events Fund. Applications have been accepted between March 3rd and April 29th for events that will take place between June 1st and December 31st of this year. And so you have a resolution before you tonight to accept the following recommendations for funding. The municipality of Fort-Quilonge for their Village en Fête, $500. Groupe de l'Île du Grand Calumet for their second treasure hunt, $500. Parc de Chute-Quilonge for their Festival of Lights, $500. Municipality of Allen and Colwood, Danford Lake Mud Run and Family Day, $2,000. Fort-Quilonge, Mansfield et Pontifract for their Country Festival, $5,000. Shawville Lions Club for their Shawville Lions Country Jamboree, $5,000. And finally, the Pontiac Agricultural Society for the Shawville Fair, $5,000.
Okay, thank you very much. Would someone like to take carriage of this? Moved by Mayor Brantor. All those in favor? Opposed, and that carries. 16.6, Investment Committee Recommendations Resolution.
You have tonight before you the resolution to adopt the recommendations stemming from the Investment Committee that was held on May 4th. Vous avez les recommandations provenant de la rencontre du comité d'investissement le 4 mai. They are as follows. MRC CI 2022-0504, a flea loan, $62,500, and a $50,000 grant. MRC CI 2022-0505, a grant of $3,000. And finally, MRC CI 2022-0506, a grant of $15,000.
Okay, thank you. Someone take carriage of this, please. Moved by Mayor Ed Walsh. All those in favor? Opposed, and that carries. 16.7 recommendations, donations, and sponsors. 16.7.1, the donation and sponsorship municipality of Shawville.
Yes, you have a resolution before you tonight to grant a donation of $500 to the municipality of Shawville for their annual fishing derby.
Okay, someone like to take carriage of this? Moved by Mayor Lynn Cameron. All those in favor? Opposed, and that carries. Thank you. Thank you, Cindy. Are you finished this?
May I say a few
Excellent
words?
job. Yes.
Okay. I just want to take a moment to thank you all for placing your confidence in me over the last 2.25 years. Together, we've accomplished many, many things, and there are so many things yet to be accomplished. Having worked in municipal government for a long time, I can tell you that it's not always an easy task to stand in this position to seek support for budget spending, for projects, for staffing needs, etc. You are all the caretakers of public funds, and citizens put their trust in you to spend their money wisely for the betterment of their lives. And you put your trust in us as administrators to uphold that trust and to propose and make the right decisions. And throughout my tenure, I want you all to know that I have felt supported and I have felt your confidence from the regional table of mayors. And for that, I thank you very much.
Thank you, Cindy. And we'll look forward to seeing you on May 27th, if not before. 17, regional infrastructure. Kim Lesage is joining us by Zoom, correct? Hi, Kim.
Hi, everyone.
So I'll introduce, first of all, 17.1, support MRC des Echemins, impact of inflation on municipal services of municipalities, a resolution.
Right now, I have two resolutions for support tonight. Le premier, c'est un appui à la MRC des Échemins concernant l'effet de l'inflation pour les coûts de construction, d'entretien, d'achat d'équipements, ainsi que les coûts des services municipaux, qui a un impact direct sur les budgets municipaux. So the first resolution of support is the MRC des Échemins regarding the impact of inflation in the cost of construction, maintenance, purchase of equipment, and cost of municipal services, which has a direct impact on municipal budgets. As per the resolution of the MRC des Échemins, we would propose to request that financial assistance programs include a clause to adjust the amount granted to compensate for significant increases caused by inflation, as we discussed earlier with Andre Fortin. We would like to ask the government of Quebec and Canada to improve the annual financial aid to municipalities, ask governments of Quebec and Canada to revise the financial assistance programs in order to simplify the criteria and accelerate the confirmation of financial assistance to municipalities. And that we would ask to forward this resolution to the Minister of Municipal Affairs, a copy to Andre Fortin, to the UMQ, the FQM, local municipalities of the Pontiac, and the MRCs of Quebec for support.
Okay, thank you, Kim. Very good. Any questions about this? Could I have someone move this resolution? Moved by Mayor Terry Lafleur. All those in favor? Opposed? And that carries. 17.2, the other resolution, Kim, claims concerning the complexity of the procedures and the processing times for MTQ files.
La première résolution qu'on aimerait appuyer, c'est de la MRC de Rouville. C'est pour offrir des revendications concernant la complexité des démarches et les délais de traitement pour les dossiers du MTQ. So this resolution of support, as James said, is for claims concerning the complexity of procedures and delays in MTQ processing files. We understand that MTQ is an essential partner of municipal actors, including MRCs and local municipalities, for the realization of important work and projects related to its main mission, which is to ensure throughout the territory the sustainable mobility of people and goods through efficient and safe transportation systems. So as per the resolution of the MRC de Rouville, we would propose to transmit to the MTQ claims concerning the complexity of the procedures and delays in processing municipal files, ask the MTQ to take necessary measures to reduce delays as a priority, to urgently review its processes of support and management to municipal requests in order to simplify and clarify the steps, and finally, to take more account of municipal expertise in the context of decisions and having local and regional impacts. We would also resolve to transmit this resolution to the Premier of Quebec, to the Minister of Transport of Quebec, to the MNAs of the territory, the UMQ, FQM, ADG-MRCQ, ADG-MQ, and the MRCs of Quebec for support.
That's excellent. Thank you. Any questions or comments? Sure, we all agree with this. Who would like to move it, please? Moved by Mayor Karen Kelly. All those in favor? Opposed? And that carries. Thank you very much, Kim. Great work.
Thank you.
Public Safety, Julian Gagnon has joined us on Zoom. Hi, Julian.
Good evening.
Good evening. 18.1, signing authority agreement with Bell 911 service for the implementation of the next generation service. A resolution?
Oui, donc cette résolution est pour autoriser le directeur général de la MRC à signer une entente de service avec Bell pour le service 911 de prochaine génération. So this resolution is to authorize the Director General of the MRC to sign the agreement with services for 911 next generation. Bell Canada has been mandated by the CRTC to plan for the implementation of 911 next generation. This service will allow Canadians to access new and improved innovative emergency services based on internet protocol technology. And by June 30th of 2023, all 911 emergency centers must migrate to this new next generation 911 service. So this resolution would authorize our Director General on behalf of all our municipalities to sign this contract.
Hey, wonderful. Thank you so much. Could I have someone move? Any questions or comments? Could I have someone move this resolution, please? Moved by Mayor Corey Spence. All those in favor? Opposed? And that carries. And next, Julian, you have 18.2, support financial aid for firefighter training.
Oui, donc ce point concerne un appui à la MRC Rivière-du-Loup concernant l'aide financière disponible pour les municipalités et leurs pompiers. So this resolution is to authorize to support a resolution adopted by MRC Rivière-du-Loup, which is requesting that the provincial government put in place special financial assistance programs to support MRCs and municipalities in maintaining their fire services. They're also requesting to the government put in place a program that could provide income security and job protection for someone who is recruited on a local fire department. Also to consider various measures to facilitate the recruitment and retention of part-time personnel for the fire services, and to consider the implementation of various fiscal and other measures that would benefit employers who would encourage the participation of their personnel as part-time firefighters within a local municipality.
Thank you. Are there any questions or comments? Could I have someone please move this resolution moved by Mayor Odie Godin? All those in favor? Opposed? And that carries. 18.3, appui MRC Brome-Missisquoi, augmentation de l'aide accordée par le ministère de la Sécurité publique pour la formation des nouveaux pompiers. Julian, resolution.
Oui, donc un autre point qui concerne un appui à une résolution adoptée par la MRC Brome-Missisquoi. So just in the same vein as the previous resolution, we are again supporting another resolution adopted by another MRC, this time Brome-Missisquoi, who is requesting the financial assistance for firefighter training be increased as the cost of this training has increased drastically since the unveiling of the financial assistance program over 5 years ago. The costs of training firefighters have substantially increased, and for this reason, we would like to see an increase in the financial assistance, which would also include the purchasing of equipment and necessary PPE for these firefighters who are joining local fire department new members.
Okay, thank you. Any questions or comments? I have someone move carriage of this, moved by Pro Mayor Gary Ladisser. All those in favor, opposed, and that carries. And final item 18.4, preparation renewal of the fire safety cover plan. Julian?
Oui, donc cette résolution vise la préparation et le renouvellement du schéma de couverture de risque de la MRC de Pontiac. So the fire safety cover plan of the MRC came to an end on April 30th of 2022. This is a document that must be renewed in its 6th year after adoption. So every 5 years, we must undertake the work of renewing this cover plan. So this resolution will allow the public safety coordinator of the MRC, myself, to proceed with the drafting of the new version of the cover plan, and also requesting that municipalities submit after tonight's meeting the information required to draft this document before July 31st of this year.
Okay, thank you. Any questions or comments? Would someone move this resolution? Moved by Mayor Terry Lafleur. All those in favor, opposed, and that carries. Thank you. Excellent work, Julian. We go on to our manager of territory, Jason Durand. 19.1, renewal contract for the reception, transportation, and disposal of residual materials. Jason.
Yes.
Take it away.
Hello again. This is a resolution for the renewal of waste management. Sorry. Regarding our territory here for the next year at the price of 283.25 cents a ton. So this is donc un renouvellement avec le Campbell's Bay Cement là, pour le renouvellement au niveau de la gestion des déchets. Donc à 283,25 la tonne. Donc résolution, s'il vous plaît.
Okay.
Resolution, please.
Perfect. Could I have someone take carriage? Any questions? Okay, moved by Mayor Brent Orr. All those in favor, opposed, and that carries. 19.2, support for the maintenance of vegetation and waterways along a municipal road. Jason?
Oui, aussi, c'est une autre résolution, mais d'appui ici avec, en lien avec la municipalité de Saint-Amé, dans la MRC de l'Érable. C'est pour la gestion au niveau de l'élimination de la broussaille le long des chemins, mais qui longe des cours d'eau, certains cours d'eau. Donc, la réglementation actuelle ne permet pas de le faire de façon mécanisée et de laisser les déchets là, sur les lieux. Donc, ça doit être fait de façon manuelle et les déchets doivent être ramassés. Donc, dans le fond, c'est un peu excessif. Là, donc, considérant la grosseur de nos territoires, donc, et pour la sécurité routière, il est recommandé là, de demander au ministère de l'Environnement de revoir puis de s'inspirer un peu comme le NTQ le fait. Là. Donc, what I'm trying to say, this is a resolution in support to the municipality of Saint-Amé and the MRC of l'Érable. So in other words, this is regarding the brushing along the road network, especially when there's water course around. So this is to be able to, because it cannot be mechanized and the brush has to be removed. So which is pretty excessive at the scale of our territory. So this is in other words to appuyer cette résolution of the MRC de l'Érable to go forward with this this upgoing to make sure that we can do this ourselves mechanically.
Okay, super. Could I have someone carry this, please? Moved by Mayor from Elena Kaywood. All those in favor? Opposed, and that carries. 19.3, temporary suspension regarding areas inconsistent with mining. Jason?
Wait, again, this is a resolution regarding the territories that are not compatible with mining. We have, this is the 6th renewal. This, in other words, is areas that cannot be claims, there cannot have claims. And like I say, most of these areas are regarding nice lakes where we have resort lease. Donc, en gros, c'est des zones qui sont pas compatibles avec l'activité minière. Donc, il s'agit d'un renouvellement là, de cette protection-là là, qui est temporaire, donc qui n'est pas compatible avec l'activité minière. Merci. Resolution to go ahead with this.
Okay, thank you. Any questions or comments? Okay, seeing none, could I have someone take carriage? Mayor Donnie Gagnon, all those in favor? Opposed? And that carries. 19.4, renewal of the agreement on the types of floods, although we don't want any. Jason.
No, again, this is actually complementary to the resolution we had last previous council regarding the flooding, the zoning of the flood zone. So this is actually analyzing the types of flood, which is complementary work to this study. Donc, en gros, c'est une résolution pour, dans le fond, aller au niveau de la typologie des inondations, qui est dans le fond, un complément au contrat qu'on avait au niveau de l'identification de la cartographie des zones inondables. Donc, c'est un élément nécessaire là, pour compléter ce projet-là.
Okay, any questions or comments? Moved by Pro-Mayor Gary Ladisher. We call you Larry. Anyway, it's been a long night. Okay, all those in favor? Opposed? And that carries. And the final item, 19.5, MRC priorities, implementation of PADF projects 2022 to 2023. Jason.
Oui, dans le fond, c'est une résolution en lien avec le budget du PADF que la MRC Pontiac doit. Donc, il s'agit d'entour de 141 000 $. Donc, ce montant-là, dans le fond, c'est annuellement sur 3 ans. Donc, dans le fond, c'est de l'autoriser pour l'année 2022-2023, ce budget-là. Puis, en plus, c'est de le garder ouvert sur les 3 différentes catégories d'activités. C'est-à-dire au niveau de la gestion des TPI, des travaux sylvicoles, au niveau de la réparation, de l'entretien des chemins multiressources et finalement au niveau de la promotion du domaine forestier et tout ce qui vient avec là, au niveau de la valorisation de la fibre. Donc, aussi, dans ce cas-ci, dans cette catégorie-là, on aurait aussi l'Office des producteurs de bois qu'on leur donnerait aussi un 25 000 $, là, évidemment, en retour de service de cette entité-là. Donc, in other words, this is PADF annual budget of $141-something thousand. I won't go into details, but this is the annual budget for the MRC Pontiac. And the goal to that is to keep it open for the 3 categories, which is TPI management, in other words, silviculture work. After that, road and work on multi-resource crownland roads. And finally, to promote fiber and all activities regarding forestry, sustainable forestry activities. So, and in that category, we'd have as well the wood board for an amount of $25,000 for this year.
Okay, thank you very much. Any questions or comments? Could I have someone move this resolution? Moved by Mayor Ed Walsh. All those in favor? Opposed? And that carries. Excellent job. Thank you so much, Jason, for all your hard work. So now we go to 20 miscellaneous. Bernard, was there anything under miscellaneous? I've added 2 items. So is this where we do it? Okay. So 20.1, the resolution is, it was moved by, this is concerning the HR file. Could I have someone move this resolution, please? Moved by Mayor Francoeur, and resolved to move forward with the HR file discussed during the in-camera session. All those in favor? Opposed? And that carries. Thank you. And then 20.2 is the resolution concerning residential waste, Ontario and Quebec. And what we are simply asking is that considering the biomedical waste and recyclable materials are currently allowed to transit from Ontario to Quebec to be treated and valorized, considering that allowing the importation of residential waste from Ontario for treatment in Quebec, and it should actually say for energy from waste, so it can't be confused with landfill. could be used in projects that would be economically beneficial to the Outaouais and the rest of Quebec, considering that landfilling is no longer an environmentally acceptable option and that many innovative treatment technologies require certain volumes. This would allow Quebec to be an environmental leader. It was proposed by, who would like to move this? Moved by Odie, Mayor Odie. I was going to say again, go down. There we go. I knew that wasn't quite right. Very important resolution and resolve to request the Minister of the Environment and the Fight Against Climate Change undertake the necessary steps for allowing residential waste from the National Capital Region in Ontario to be imported for treatment in Quebec. And it should also request the Premier. We'll just make that amendment, please. It is also resolved to transmit this resolution to the MRCs of the Outaouais region and the city of Gatineau for support, and I'll take it to the CPO. We did move this in 2020. It was unanimous. We're moving it again now because we have 9 new mayors. So it was moved by Mayor Godin. All those in favor, I would like to record this as unanimous. Opposed, and it's unanimous. Thank you very much. And could we have a resolution to close the meeting? Moved by Mayor Karen Kelly. All those in favor? Opposed, and it's unanimous. Thank you very much, everybody. It was a long meeting, but a great meeting. Thank you.
Yeah. Closing. Yeah. It didn't go over well.